Namaste, Sacred Masters, and welcome to this pick a card session for your shadow work. We have the deck shuffle and 3 random cards from the Dark Mirror Oracle deck placed before you. If you want to purchase this deck, look for the link in the description box below. You can pause the video and take your time to see if any of these cards resonate with you, and then use the time code in order to jump to the card you choose. This is card 1, 2, and 3. Don't forget there are many more pick a card videos to choose from. You can find them in my playlist, Shadow Work Pick a Shadow Card, on my channel's main page, so don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell for more pick a card sessions. After you pick your card, I will explain what each card means in the book. Now, the book's description is poetic and can be confusing sometimes, but for the sake of sharing, I will read it out, then give you my interpretation of it. You will hear my interpretation when I remove my mask and speak with my normal voice. I will also give you a shadow prompt in order to get started on some shadow work based on the card you pick, together with Grabovia codes to help with your shadow work sessions, or sometimes a link to another video relating to the matter. Alright, let's get started. Pick a card and jump to the timestamp. The card you picked is Artificial Heart and is represented by the new moon phase. It is illustrated as a female figure, an android or a robot, with cyber lines traveling over the skin like gentle spiders, a black choker of feminine servitude, and jaded eyes of futuristic indifference. The sentence that resonates with this card is building oneself to specifications, steeling oneself to adversity, dreaming of electric sheep. Once upon a time, it was a time of flying monkeys. Someone journeyed to a place that was in Kansas in order to gain a heart. Oh, such a charming old-fashioned fairy tale. A new heart can be bought on the internet now and be delivered in a couple of days with a brand new shiny instruction manual. It works too. It gets the job done. It's not a job of feelings. It's scripted, like a job of numbers. Actually, it feels like a trade-off. We find refuge in the rational mind, which in turn gives us back the illusion of control. But we still feel. We still long to live through our emotions fully. We are truly like an artificial knight that wants to become a real person. Happiness is not in numbers. But it's not because numbers are bad. It is because there is nothing that alone can grant happiness, and then we blame this choice as the reason why our sky has no color. What if it's not actually connected? What if it's just an excuse? What if even an artificial heart can beat and fall in love and drown in sorrow? As poetic as this card sounds, it really means that we seek out happiness, our heart, through external means. Sometimes we find happiness is getting others to love us. Sometimes we find happiness in receiving a lot of money or buying our dream home or dream car. These are all external validations, and we must be careful not to place our happiness in the pursuit of external things. Real happiness is found within, not in the artificial heart, but in the real heart. When we chase happiness, there is something that needs to run. Don't make happiness a reward, but rather an emotion that is deserved. Practice looking inwards by asking yourself with this shadow prompt, what can I do today that makes me happy, that's not external? How can you treat yourself like a valued friend in a positive and honest way? When you are doing shadow work for this, use the Grabovia code 487042169 to help with activating your energies of happiness. If you want to know how to use Grabovia codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste. The card you picked is Anger and Chains and is represented by the waning crescent moon phase. It is illustrated with lions and sparks and chains and signs and lines all melted together. Geometry and colors like an explosion. The sentence that resonates with this card is, I've got to break free. I want to be free. This card shows that anger is not the road to clarity. It's not a controlled effort or a cold dish. It is raw, primal, explosive. It is the loss of reason, the loss of restraint, a bomb burning bright in black color, a wax seal carefully crafted to be immediately broken. But anger is also freedom. How can you break a single thread woven with a million of others? How can you unfether yourself from a bad situation, letting all the rest unchanged? It doesn't work like that. When you need to break free, you need to shake and shout. And more things will be broken than just what you want to hurt. They're like a bundle. You can target, but you cannot choose. Break many to break one. Save one to save many. The name of the card should give you a clue as to what shadow work prompt this is. From experience, we know that anger binds us in a chain of negativity. Anger leads us to do many things that we later regret, or even worse, take us further down into the vibrational chart to sadness and depression as well. Anger can be a survival trait in which we act out when we are frightened, or it could be an expressive trait in which we communicate intensely when all other forms of communication fail. But most often than not, after we are done being angry, we feel shame. Shame for our behavior that we later regret. In the absence of shadow work, anger is the most common way our shadow child and our shadow side spills out and lashes out. Unfortunately, we do it to the people nearest and closest to us. This card holds the basis of shadow work, so I could give a million shadow prompts for it. For the sake of getting started, let's just begin by asking ourselves, what emotion brings out the worst in you? What do you think that is? How can we do shadow work to heal it? Can we do shadow child work to heal ourselves? If you want a whole course that is free on healing the shadow child, click on the link above or look at the description box below. When contemplating on these intense emotions, use Grabovio code 10011050010 to invite energies of peace around you. If you want to know how to use Grabovio codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste. The card you picked is Downcast Pride and is represented by the new moon phase. It is illustrated with the eyes dark with dried blood tears looking downwards. The face of a dark-skinned, beautiful elf with gold laurels among her hair is stern and motionless. Roots plunge into her body from a golden collar. The sky behind her as gray as concrete. The sentence that resonates with this is, the root of sadness and grief is deeper than skin. The only delusion is the gray sky. What this card speaks about is how survival is the direct consequence of adaptation. What we call adaptation is not the results of a subtle but constantly constructive change of ourselves, but rather a mockery of it, as we strip day by day of our dignity in order to avoid conflict with a world that would spread us apart. How can we endure this? Maybe through the power of responsibility, or through our hidden core of identity. Sometimes we don't use the best parts of us, but rather we draw from the ugliest. We survive and bend our knees because we draw from our laziness, fear, and disgust. We let our deepest roots go dry, replaced by what can only be called a surge of lack of self-esteem. We are deluded when we think that we are only sacrificing our pride. We cling to vanity, but we can't afford dignity. Isn't it sad? Honestly, the true delusion is our faith in fall and winter, while we discard spring and summer as fairy tales. The sky can change color too. As long as we sometimes look up, we can notice. One of the reasons that we do shadow work is to find our true and authentic self, the part of us that is lost because we develop traits, habits, and behaviors in order to adapt to culture. In order to survive, we have to pick up what we deem to be behavioral traits that others will like about us so that we can be accepted. A man becomes a doctor because that's what his parents want him to be, and he is respected by his peers because of his vocation. But what if, deep down inside, he always wanted to be a famous musician? He will never know. And the scary thing is, if he thinks about the what if on his deathbed, dying with regrets even in the company of his loved ones, that can be really, really sad. Take a look around you and ask yourself with this shadow prompt. What's one trait you see in other people that you wish you had? Whether you admire a particular person's determination to go beyond the norm and pursue their passions or their talent in something, ask yourself, why do you not possess this characteristic and how can you achieve it? Even if it means taking small steps, when you're looking for your hidden passions, harness the energies of determination and focus for learning with the Grabovio code 212-585-212. If you want to know how to use Grabovio codes in your sessions for meditating or journaling, check out the link above or in the description box below. I hope this session gives you something to work on. Pick up your shadow journals and let's start finding our inner and true authentic self. I'll try to post more pick a card every week depending on my schedule, so that gives you some time to sit with your shadow prompt and begin working on positive changes to a new life. If you found something new about yourself, don't forget to comment and share with others as well. This not only helps build courage and self-esteem, but it also encourages others that they are not alone. I'll see you in the next session. Namaste.